Good afternoon from the farmer's garden. I'm one of the farmers and I'm in the house right now. This afternoon I want to get nerdy with you. I've been seeing a lot of posts recently. It's spring and prices are going up around us, and there's a lot of people that are looking to get outside and save some money at the same time by raising their own chickens. Now I will say chickens aren't always as cheap as people think they are, so that is something to keep in mind. But mainly what I want to focus on today, I'm seeing a lot of these people that are new to chickens, that haven't had them before, that don't have a full understanding of how we get eggs. So this video is less for the people who eat our eggs, although you might enjoy this too, and more to help people who are new to chickens to learn a little bit about their birds. So I've got some textbooks out here, and I want to just show you pretty simply how an egg is actually formed, how long it takes the egg to be formed and all of those things, so that if you're looking to raise chickens, you'll understand that. And if you just want to know where eggs come from, it'll be interesting for you as well. So we'll go ahead and jump right in. All right, if I've got anybody on here that went to school with me at Kilgore College, you can go ahead and laugh. We always knew I was the nerd. That's fine. So both of these books are available on Amazon, or this one is available at Tractor Supply. This one is a great book for backyard bird raisers. It's got all kinds of information about breeds and shelters and predators and all the things. So this is a really good one. This is an actual college textbook from 2007, I think is the year that I took this class. Again, both of these are available on Amazon. But I just want to kind of use these to give you a rundown of how eggs are made. So I have gone in and blown up one of the graphs from in this book. I want to give credit where it's due. This is not my graphic. This is straight from the book. I just blew it up a little bigger to be able to show you guys. We're going to look at how eggs are formed. So basically, like most female animals, a chicken is born with 2 ovaries. Unlike most animals, only the left ovary actually matures. The other one just remains this tiny little nothing. But the left ovary matures, and so at the top of the reproductive system, this would be up along the spine in the chicken, there is all of the tiny little ovums. The chicken is born with every egg that she will ever lay, plus some if she was to die young or any of those things. She's got every egg that she would ever be able to lay already inside her when she's born, and they're these teeny tiny little things here. And as she gets closer to laying each egg, they grow, and there's a whole science behind all the nutrients and everything that's needed for them to be able to grow like this. But they grow and they split along what's called the stigma, which when I've got it colored, it's harder to see. And this is a tiny picture, so it's hard to see, but you can see right there, there's like that little dotted line. It's basically where the sac that's providing all the blood flow to it inside the chicken, that's going to split and come off of there. And that yolk, this is now the yolk, the ovum, is going to drop down into the infundibulum. So the infundibulum is the very top part of the female chicken's reproductive system. It drops into there, and this just kind of catches it. So that ovum falls, it catches into there and moves into this funnel here. Okay, the next step is the magnum, and this is where the albumin is added. The albumin is the fancy name for egg white. So the egg white is put in here, and then it's kind of inflated in the isthmus. I'm checking my book to make sure I'm telling you the correct spot for that. Yes. So it's kind of, the albumin is kind of inflated with some air and turned into what you really actually know as the egg white as it moves through this narrow part here and into the uterus. The uterus is where the shell is formed. So it's going to add all the calcium, all the minerals to that, as well as the color. And then finally, it moves into the vagina and the cloaca, or the vent where it's going to go out. So the egg starts out going down narrow end first. I know that kind of looks weird through there, but it goes narrow end first through, and then it's going to actually turn end over end and come out wide end first. That's kind of backwards of what most people think. So that's how the egg is made. When we're talking about this process, this takes around 25 hours for most chickens. You've heard me say before that most chickens cannot lay more than 6 eggs in 7 days, or that they take a day off. It's not that they're not like, oh, Saturday, it's my day off. But because it takes longer than 24 hours, you don't end up actually collecting 7 eggs for most chickens. Now, some breeds are closer to that 24 hours, and I'm sure they are working on breeds to even be under that. But right now, about 25 hours is the average. So it takes about 15 minutes in this part. 15 minutes from the time that ovum drops and falls into here. It takes about 3 hours in this part where it's getting the egg white added. It's in this part for around an hour and 15 minutes. And then this part is the part that takes a while. This is almost 21 hours here. And then about 15 minutes where it's flipping from pointy end to long end before it comes out. So that makes the average around 25 hours. So nothing super spectacular there. That's just how the egg is made. It tells you all the pieces there. And again, you can find all of this information. Either of these books are available on Amazon. This is a good one if you're really wanting to raise chickens commercially. This one is great if you just want chickens in your backyard. I highly recommend this one. Actually, all of these stories guides are really good. It doesn't matter if you're new to cows, new to goats, new to rabbits, whatever it is, they probably have one. So this one's going to have all that information in there. There you go. So again, not overly exciting if you just are looking to eat eggs and you don't necessarily care where they come from, but some good information for you if you have chickens. One question that I saw recently, somebody had an egg that was not fully formed. So it had no shell on it. And we get those every once in a while. It was squishy. It was almost like if you had been able to peel the shell off without breaking that inner membrane. That's all it was. In fact, that's what it was. It didn't have the shell. And so they were all asking, oh, do I need to feed more calcium? Do I need to do this? Do I need to do that? No, your chicken just decided for whatever reason not to finish that egg. A lot of times that's a stressor indication. For example, I had one a while back that didn't get put in the coop at night. I let them out to run and she didn't make it back up. And so I went out later and she was sitting on the fence and I just caught her and moved her inside. And I realized the next day that she had been sitting there working on her egg. And when I picked her up, she laid an unfinished egg. It was pretty wild. It happens every once in a while. But that's not a matter of not enough calcium or anything like that. Although that can be a situation. In that case, it's just an interruption in the cycle. Occasionally people will have little tiny eggs and they're like, what's wrong with my chicken? What did it do? Cycle just got interrupted for whatever reason. Either the ovum that dropped the yolk that it turned into, either that didn't get fully formed or it just got interrupted at some point, and so that's when you get what we call a little fairy egg, and they're just tiny ones. So lots of different things that can happen with your eggs, but if they're made correctly, that's what happens. Around 25 hours from that ovary dropping until it turns into an egg, and all of this without a rooster's presence. If there is a rooster around, the fertilization of the egg will take place in the magnum, I believe it is. If there's not a rooster around, they just keep on chugging out eggs and we get to eat them. So there you go. I hope you learned something. This is a little bit different video than I normally do, but I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure and like and subscribe to our channel and tell your friends about us, and come back when you can stay longer.